Blessings, yo, you know, whew, the way of the pyramid, right? The way the pyramid was even constructed was through debauchery. You know, it was through mischief and distress of those that had to go through the traumatic experiences to basically know how to fine tune the human, you know, in a way where they know how to make them into what they need to be, right? And, you know, some people know the game. You know, they know the game enough to know the hierarchy, you know, how to actually meander themselves into very good bloodlines where, you know, they could just go ahead and be of the bourgeois, you know, the elite in a way where, you know, they're not, they they were the ones that were actually lined up, the peasants, right? They were lined up as the concubines of the emperor or the king of the castle, right? They were handpicked because of their beauty and everything else, and they were raised up to be the concubine. Now, the story goes where, you know, you basically just did all the tricks of the trade in order to get that actual bloodline going and to bear sons, you know, and it goes on and it keeps going. You know, the cycle continues where 304s just go ahead and make themselves up to being who are the privileged elite, where, you know, manipulation, jealousy and envy and you are not of their kind type of attitude. You know, the bourgeois nose way up in the air because they don't want to smell nothing that they used to being, you know. But those that, it's like the upside down pyramid where the pyramid, everybody that's at the top is at the bottom making a way up to the top, and those that make it up to the top already had that fucking crown, yo. It's just those that made their way to the top the way that they need to make their way to the top. You know, the ones trying to knock off the motherfucking real crowns because they plastic crowns is cracking and shit. Them shit's been sitting up in the sun for too long. It's melting on their heads. You know, it's just the way of the world, you know. But those that are actually building up their empire, you know, their spiritual inheritance is picked up and shit, and they fucking drawing out their spiritual piggy bank. You know, that's what's bothering those that actually don't have it by way of their own, you know. They are building off of the manipulation and the envy and the jealousy, and you are of that kind and you are of ick, when they are supposed to be healing, you know, those wounds of their lineage, whereas the lineage ahead, you know, shit survives by themselves in ways of self-sufficiency. Because if you pull away what isn't theirs, what do they actually begin with and start off with? You know, start off, then damn, that's where the prenups come in. Gotta know and wonder what the history of everything, because of the fact that history just simply continues. We just mask it very well, you know. And those that know how to mask it very well knows how to treat those of unkind of their kind in many ways, where you're supposed to know who they are by way of the trickery that they use in order to make sure you know who you are. But at the same time, they know exactly who you are. That's the reason why they have, they treat you the way that they do, because they already know the empire within you. Damn. Know what the most I got you. Have a good one. Bye.